Hello everyone. So today we are going to be see how this LangGraph Python library will work, and so it is one type of library which built on top of the LangChain, and it is used for the designing and creating the managing complex and stateful workflows or graphs. So let me show my code so that you can understand. Here I executed and. How it built. So this is the code I have written and executed, and this is we have a multi-agent as well as a single agent. So this is the architecture. How does it work? So this is the state, and here like we give the multi transactions or any transactions, so it will decide where it will give the output or it will go to the end, and this process will get repeats. Okay, so a state, node, edge, and end. So what is the state graph? The state graph structure where you define the nodes, functions, and edges transitions. So this is the state. Here is the user when it gives the prompt. So it will decide and how to give the output or whether it is end. Node, a step process, example like a language model or a tool. So defines edge defines how the process flow from one node to the another. Shared memory between the steps, messages, variables, and tools. So, and finally, it's a special query to end the execution. And here it is the brief explanation about the state nodes and the edges. And here it is LangChain was LangGraph was LangFlow and LangSmith. So these are the libraries where we use. If you're building the generative AI apps, you are likely come across like foundation frameworks for connecting the language models to the tools and APIs. So LangGraph is nothing but the orchestrator for the multi-agent system and complex workflow. And LangFlow, the usual drag and drop UI for the prototyping AI apps. And LangSmith is nothing but the real-time debugging and monitoring the platform. So here we have to be signed up for the LangSmith. Once we go to the Google and create, and once we log in with the LangSmith, then we have to be check how to monitor that. I will show you here. Here it is, LangSmith I have opened, and here we can see the tracing projects. So whatever the projects we are executing, and whether it is showing the error or it is giving the output, it has to be generate everything here. So which I have already executed in my code. So here is the code, and first I got the output for my single LangGraph. Okay, so here it is. I have compiled start hello LangGraph, and this is my end node, start node, end node, and final node. Hello LangGraph process by start, as I mentioned in this our architecture. So here we have two types of, this is a single LangGraph and this is the multi LangGraph agents. Okay, so here just I show you this is the single one, and let me show you the another one. So here first we have to be give the API keys. I have created my Grok API key and pasted here, as well as created the LangSmith API key and pasted here. So once we from LangChain Grok import chat Grok, then we will use this Grok model name, which is Gemma29B IT. Okay, so once we have enter all this code, then it will give us the whether it will decide it is a single, this is a multi-agent. Okay, so how this chatbot create, and so here you can see from the IPython display. So it is displaying my single agent chat graph. So it will do that, and if we give this, if we run this and execute this, execute any file, let me show and execute it, as it may take some times, but okay, so let me just execute it. So I have already given my API key, so it would be easier for me to execute it, and hopefully it won't take much time. So Yes, I have Graph Builder, and this is my the chatbot state and chatbot builder. I am adding the node agents and the Graph Builder. So here I can add the edges. I have added the edges and Graph Builder, and finally it will display the my graph model. And here the main thing, how if we run this, here you can give any prompt. So what is the model models, and what is the models which we used in ML. You can give any prompt and click on enter, and just click on Q to quit this. Press enter. So immediately it gives the response. So what are the machine learning models? Here it is. At their core, machine learning models that are mathematically representation, patterns and the relationship. Okay, so it have generated my prompt. Okay, so now moving to the another one. So here I have mentioned how this will work. We can see. Okay, so I have again given my API key, and this is again I have taken the LLM model from the graph, and let me just go and execute it. And here it is, build the graph. It has built the graph. Now here I'm adding the edges, and it will define the flow. Now graph builder compilation is done, and draw the graph. Here it has finally given the graph of the multi-agent chatbot. Okay, now here this is the finally give the response for my project. Okay, so here you can give any prompt like invoke the graph. You can give the input message as new movies are not hit movies. Could you please talk about the Pushpa 2? Okay, so let me just run this, and here it is given the response. You are right, it's not tough to say the definitely whether a movie is a hit or release there. And now this Allu Arjun star power, Arjun is the one of the biggest stars in India, so this has given generated the nice response. And how we have to be monitor this in the LangSmith. So I have given my LangSmith API key here. Okay, so I have given the LangSmith API key. So here we can log into the LangSmith and check our monitoring. How does it generating the our response? So let me go to here, and this is my LangSmith which I have already signed up, and you have to be click on the tracing project. Here it will generate the responses. That's it for today. Thank you.